listening to the TopRopePress.com radio network. There's one thing you're better at than I am, and that's kissing Vince McMahon's ass.
And I have half the brain that you do. You see, I come from a highly educated university, so when I come out and speak these white trash, I gotta dumb myself down. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
And welcome everybody to the 6th edition of the Voices of the Voiceless podcast, and the first ever edition on TopRopePress.com. I am John Fisher, alongside the always confrontational, controversial, yet squishy Brad Shepard.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. I'm glad to be a part of the Top Rope Press radio network and having our first show on TopRopePress.com. And
I don't believe you for 1 second.
Oh, you know, I'm happy. But I'm even happier about we have a special guest today.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how you got this interview. It's with one of the most controversial beings in entertainment history. He's banned in one country, as it were, and honestly, I kind of look like him.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that. Never,
actually, never, and I'm proud. I've never heard that. Yeah, so Brad, tell us before we get into wrestling what the interview is going to be and who it's with, and the huge.
Well, I say we just get right into it.
Fine.
Beibers, ladies and gentlemen, joining us at this time, mega pop star Justin Beiber.
What's up, guys? I'm Justin Beiber.
The one and only. Thanks for joining us, Justin. I understand you're a fan of pro wrestling, and there's a certain WWE Hall of Famer showing it all on Skype for $100. Have you had any sunny days lately?
She's got herself a nice-looking bod.
Well, there you go. You're not bagging any of the divas, are you?
No, I'm single.
Oh, okay. Well, wrestlers have been known to party a time or 20. What does an international sensation like yourself do after the show?
I'll be busy fighting off the boys.
Oh, okay. Well, how does that make you feel?
I think it feels good.
Well, that's all the time we have, Justin. Thanks for joining us on the Voices of the Voiceless podcast.
Well,
thank you, guys. You guys are amazing.
Well, yeah, of course we're amazing. Thanks, Justin. There you go. Justin Beiber, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God. I don't know how you did it, but I think it's great.
I had to sell 3 kidneys.
3? You only have 2.
Well, I know. I had to sell someone else's.
Well, whose was it?
I can't tell you.
If it was
not until the statute of limitations is up. Anymore.
Well, you know what? If it was Big Show's, it wouldn't have mattered because he can't even hit anybody anyways. So, well, you know what? For that matter, neither can Sheamus or Mark Henry because, well, we all saw that brogue kick. Anyway, that was fun. Is that out of your system now? Yeah, Justin, thank you so much for being on the show. Please never come on again. No,
yeah. We won't have that again.
You're a disgrace to human mankind.
We'll never have that again.
Yeah. It's funny. He's banned in Canada. He'll be banned on this podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're banning Justin Beiber effective immediately.
Well, we better tell the boss, Ryan Drosty, because he's the guy that tells us what to do, and he's the man that, he's not the man with the plan like Brian Kendrick, but he's close. So he's gonna have to do something. He's the creative control, kind of like, Vince Russo. Bad jokes, so many bad jokes. Let's start off.
Yeah, let's go
with whatever you want.
Well, yeah, let's start with the what the fuck tweet of the week, and it comes from @LVGITBoss, who tweeted, "I bet Hornswoggle is hung." Thank you to the legit boss creeper for that troll tweet of the week.
Well, all right. So here's what happened. I'm sick, as you can tell. My voice cracked like Justin Bieber's.
He's rubbing off on you.
You're in more than one way. So Hornswoggle got suspended by the WWE. Yes, he was suspended, a non-active wrestler suspended. Why the wellness policy? That makes no sense. You're telling me.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it was he was taking, steroids thinking that he'd actually get taller. But no, it doesn't work like that.
No, well, Rey Mysterio tried that. We saw how that worked out.
Yeah.
No, but really, he was suspended for the wellness policy this 30 days. It's his first offense, if I'm not mistaken, which in the 30 days is a slap on the wrist. And for him, he's not on the show anyway, so who cares? He's suspended from the show Swerved on the WWE Network, which is getting canceled anyway. So really, this is no beef to him at all. He can sit at home and do nothing and be okay with it.
It's just unfortunate it's not his third strike. He's totally boring and useless. As a matter of fact, I'd actually like to see him back. I'd like to see him back so that we could put him in a match with the Big Show and let the Big Show just squash him like a grape.
Oh boy, that's bad.
That's what I want to see. I want to see giants squashing midgets. Now that's entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. Taking me back to my King Kong Bundy WrestleMania 3 days. I want to see the giant squash the midget. Sorry.
Well, midget wrestling used to be extremely popular, so that's not out of the ordinary. Not even close.
I will say. I just want to add to that. We don't know why he was suspended in all seriousness, but there was a rumor that he had been asked to provide a urine sample at his house, and he may not have been able to provide it within the 3-hour window, and so that's an automatic failure. Don't know if that's true, but we don't have any other information, and WWE has commented saying that they will not release the specifics of the violation.
Yeah, which is kind of odd. I mean, I would have to think that there. I honestly, it kind of it keeps me flabbergasted that what's all going on. I mean, it's Hornswoggle. He's not John Cena or Randy Orton. So I don't know. It's really odd.
Well, that's what makes people question the credibility of the whole policy. Is you have people like Hornswoggle, or the last violation more than 2 years ago was Ricardo Rodriguez, who was with the WWE at the time.
Right.
So it's not a John Cena level type of performer that's being caught. Yeah,
and you are correct. So this is our first episode on TopRopePress.com. So first we have to thank everybody from there. Cheap plug. Ryan Drosty, the owner, creator, headmaster, webmaster, for letting us be on the website, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to have some new weekly segments, one being the What the Fuck Tweet of the Week. Is that what you called it?
Yeah, I guess that's what we can call it, unless someone has something better. If you do, tweet me and let me know at the Brad Shepard, BradShepard.
And I'm at John Fisher IQ, just how it sounds and spelled. But we're not done with the weekly segments. We're going to have a new segment, and it's going to debut a little on later in the show, called the Ric Flair Moment of the Week. And for those who want to, thanks, Charlotte. Woo! For those who want to know what the Ric Flair Moment of the Week is, well, you're just going to have to wait and see. Think of a drunk Ric Flair. So it's the stupid mistake of the week, just called the Ric Flair Moment of the Week. And it's going to be the dumbest thing to happen on the show. Brad and I are going to pick one each, and that's it. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So without further ado, Brad, you're the one with the show plans. You start us off.
Okay. Well, I'd like to start off with Monday Night Raw, live from Buffalo, New York.
Woo!
We had the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge, answered by Xavier Woods of The New Day. And as usual, they felt the need to pair Cena up with a wrestler or wrestlers who are very over, of course, so he can benefit, which is annoying. The New Day were hilarious as usual.
Hold on. Was it them benefiting off of him or vice versa or both? They're both equally over. So I don't think one was greater than the other.
Yeah, but
right?
I mean, they
right?
Well, yeah, the New Day's over, but I'm saying they have a history, a track record of pairing Cena up with people who are over, like the Zack Ryder, etc., and kind of giving Cena the rub, whether he needs it or not. It's annoying. I mean, it's not, it is what it is.
Well, honestly, Brad, what's funny is that the New Day, more specifically Xavier Woods, was not supposed to be the person to challenge for the title. That sounds like crap. So, do you want to know who the original person was?
Who was the new person supposed to be?
Not new person. You're an idiot. All right, listen up.
Yes, it is. I won't give none out. This championship will be defended here tonight.
This is Heath Slater, everybody.
Hit my music. Yes. Because as I look around, I can tell. Come on. Buffalo is the place to be. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Buffalo. John Cena is the man to beat. Ooh, and I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat you, John. Woo! Beat you like a redhead stepchild. Ooh. Starts now. You want some? Come get some. Get my music. No! What are you talking about? We're supposed to be playing my music. Are you kidding me? They got it wrong. Someone go back and tell them to play my music. No, it's the wrong song.
Poor Heath Slater.
And it was Slater Appreciation Day yesterday, believe it or not. And it was a shame because Slater was seen in the corner right where the production area is. He was all pumped up, ready to go, and to no avail, he didn't get it.
Yeah, they had planned on having him initially do the U.S. Open Challenge and changed those plans Monday at last minute. And so then when they changed those plans, they kind of played off on it and went with the whole thing where, he was supposed to get it, he didn't, and he's upset or whatever. So it's good. It's good for Heath to have something to do.
This could be a fantastic gimmick for him. And you know what? And I'm going to compare this, just like Mick Foley winning the title back in the late 90s, early 2000s, this is going to be that moment. This will be when Heath Slater wins the U.S. title, shocks the world. TNA is going to ruin the outcome on their show the week before, and it's going to be a complete role reversal, man. I tell you what, Heath Slater will be the next U.S. champion, and then Slater will lose it 10 minutes later to Finn Balor. But we can predict that later. Great match, I thought. New Day interrupted it. After getting thrown out earlier in the match, they came out, they caused Cena to win by DQ, keeping his belt, and it led to a six... What?
Okay. So John Cena is the only man on the WWE roster, okay, who would be able to... Yeah, it's breaking news.
It is breaking news, I'm telling you.
Who would be able to bully three men by himself into a corner, which is pretty much a heelish move, in my opinion. Didn't really seem to make any sense other than make him look like the biggest deal in the room, which isn't doing the ratings any favors. But I don't know if you noticed that. But when they came out, all three of them, John Cena backed them down by himself, which is just stupid. They're the tag team champions.
Yeah, nothing else. I have nothing else to say because you interrupted me. So So I'd like to keep going. Fantastic. Go ahead.
The other thing to this was, it was kind of a bastardization of the U.S. Open Challenge. I'd like to see it something that's kept serious with good matches. I think they had something that worked really well, and he takes the championship back from Seth Rollins. And the first Open Challenge was, not what was working before. So just a little critique there.
Well, I hope this does not keep happening, because if it does, then, it's going to get saturated immediately. And
we'll have no fear, because after that match ended, we had a 6-man tag team match. Playa.
Oh, I was going to screw you. I was going to play a clip. Never mind. You ruined it.
Well, no, do it.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
The great news about Raw is it was full of shit like this. So you will have another opportunity during the Diva segment to do the same thing.
Well, I mean, the spontaneity's gone. So, what's the point?
No, who knows?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Try. Sorry. Good luck next time.
You're terrible. Okay. The Dudleys and Cena took on the New Day, and as you would expect, they threw the unexpected at you. And guess who won? The New Day. The New Day got the pin. It was dirty, but who cares?
Yeah, I expected it.
Great moment. Well, I thought at first, I'm like, the faces are going to go over. But no, I thought more, and I'm like, okay, New Day's going to go over here. And they did, and thank goodness, because they need to stay hot. If they
they'll stay hot until they'll stay hot until Saturday, where they will lose the championships. That's why they won. That's why they won on Raw. Oh yeah. Yep.
No way. They're not losing their belt till Hell in a Cell.
That's a hot take right now. You heard it here first.
They are not going to lose their belts. I'm going to bet you money if that's legal. They're not going to lose their belts until Hell in a Cell. You mark my words.
I will mark your words.
And you just did, didn't you? So I mean, the match was okay. You know, it could have had bigger moments. I mean, the New Day was hilarious as always. Even with Woods in the match, he still played the trombone, which was an amazing idea.
It's entertaining. I think there is probably an issue with the most exciting thing in the company being essentially kind of an entertaining comedy type act. They're great, don't get me wrong. I just think it's very telling of how boring and stale the product is. But, you know, on the positive side, I think Xavier wrestled probably his best match in singles competition in WWE against Cena. I thought he did look strong even in defeat, so that was a plus.
As always. So moving on from that, after that good match, Brad, what do we have?
We had a backstage segment. Now, I know that's a shocker. We don't usually have backstage segments on Monday Night Raw. But we had a backstage segment with Triple H, Stephanie Kane, and Ashley from Human Resources, who is apparently the world's worst HR person, considering it took her forever to fire Bill DeMott. Anyway. Oh, that's he stepped down. I'm sorry.
Let's set the record right now. That wasn't actually Ashley from HR. It was an actress who portrayed a real Ashley from HR. Just letting everybody know.
That is correct. So Triple H tells Stephanie that HR isn't the right way to handle Kane. Kane walks in, and Stephanie introduces Kane to Ashley and says an anonymous complaint was filed on him. And she is there to manage the situation. Rollins walks in, and he's outraged that someone would file an anonymous complaint. And Stephanie says Ashley will be following Kane around tonight, and Kane should take this seriously because it will affect his role in the company. Seth says that's a lot of pressure, and Kane gets in his face and angrily says he can handle the heat. Remember, I'm the man. Then he sips his coffee and in a completely goofy voice says, who has extensive training in conflict management? Besides, who doesn't love a good old-fashioned performance evaluation? And during the segment, Seth said he couldn't believe that someone would send an email. So, you know, that was never mentioned. Obviously, they're setting the groundwork. And then JBL followed that up on commentary saying he wondered how Seth would know it was an email. So they're already, you know, leaking it out that it's obvious. I mean, it was obvious anyway, but, you know, that's the direction it's going. Obviously, it was Seth, and this is leading to their match. Whatever.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Well, that or Triple H fights The Rock at Mania, and they screw that entire storyline, which could be very good. Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't want to see The Rock and Triple H at WrestleMania.
I don't know. We're gonna get off topic too. We save that for later. Save it for later.
Okay. I don't think Kane is the most. I don't think Kane is the most interesting man.
Yes, he is.
No.
If he's not, he's 1B behind the New Day.
Defend your article.
Your article, your article. My article's correct. He is up there with Xavier Woods in how amazing the entertainment can be. Potential words, adjectives. Yeah, I know. I said I'm sick, leave me alone. But no, in all sincerity, Kane has been hilarious. He's been entertaining. He's been a Kane I've been wanting to watch. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. So what are you still complaining about?
It's corny. It's campy. It's cheesy. It's corny. The guy's in an ambulance. Then all of a sudden he's coming out to smoke.
No. Don't spoil it yet. We'll get there.
Okay, but that's the point. It's like fairy tale nonsense.
Let's just keep going. Okay? Let's keep going.
Okay. We had another backstage segment. Hard to believe, I know. This time with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. Dean advises Roman against going out there alone to the ring like he wants to. Roman says the Wyatt started it, and he's going to finish it. And if Vince has anything to say about it, I am sure he will.
Yeah, I'm sure he will too.
Yep. So Roman tells Dean if he needs a hand, Orton would be glad to help him. Dean doesn't seem to trust Orton. As an outsider, Orton walks in like, what are you saying? And Ambrose and Orton have an interaction, and Ambrose says to Roman, he's getting me all worked up as he shakes and moves back and forth. And at this point, Orton just completely lost it. He was smiling and trying to cover his mouth with his face. It was completely obvious at that point. But
did anyone just want Ambrose just to slap Roman across the face and call him a pussy and leading to Ambrose's heel turn?
I wanted him to slap both of them.
I wanted something to happen, and I thought that since they were the main event, that something big would happen, and something did, sort of, but not as big as I wanted. Go ahead.
Yeah, but an Ambrose heel turn could still happen.
You're right.
An Ambrose heel turn could happen before WrestleMania. In fact, it's still definitely possible. So, yeah, I mean, we could even see a Shield triple threat for the championship at WrestleMania. You never
Shut
know.
up. That's a dream match, and it's never going to happen because life doesn't like me. So there we go.
Well, it doesn't matter. Roman's going over. None of it matters. But anyway.
You're right.
We had the Big Show versus Mark Henry. I was so excited for this. Unbelievable. Byron says this is going to be a big test for the Big Show, and I don't know how he could even say that with a straight face. The Big Show then proceeds to squash Mark Henry in 3 minutes, making him look like a total vagina.
Yeah.
My question is, why couldn't they use Henry to be squashed by the Big Show last week instead of Cesaro?
Well, Cesaro's been off TV, so he didn't even show up.
He's so devastated by being knocked out by the Big Show that he's not showing up. He's too afraid.
But why? This just makes no sense to me.
Maybe he should speak with Ashley about a harmful work environment. He's afraid to show up to work. Clearly, no.
See, this is what I wanted from Mark Henry. Okay.
Recovering from an injury. Breaking horse
If he would have yelled this, he would have won.
Yep.
That's what he does.
Had your kids, had your wife, had your kids, had your wife, and had your husband.
That's the Mark Henry we all like, the ass kicker. But those days are behind him, and I'd like to see him retire.
He deserves a nice retirement, a good feud, and a proper send-off, as well as a Hall of Fame ticket. He deserves it. Take off your critical hat for a second. Put on your objective hat.
He does. Mark Henry had his World Heavyweight Championship reign at SmackDown. I thought was very good. He had a great promo when he faked his retirement, and
that was awesome. That was awesome.
Some of his best work. It was totally mishandled by WWE. Big shock in an effort to make John Cena look strong and give him something to do. So they totally missed out on that. But yep, not a Mark Henry hater. Thought that stuff was great. But it's time. It's time for all these guys who are getting, the guys who had Last Supper with Jesus or whatever it is. It's time for them to move on. And it's time for the new talent to get a shot.
Which, to play a little devil's advocate, I don't think there is enough talent that's built up big right now. Daniel Bryan said it the best. He said he doesn't think that they've created enough megastars.
Well, they clearly, but that's their fault.
It is their fault. I'm not blaming the talent. I'm blaming the officials, the creative, the people that make all the decisions. That's on them. That's nobody else's fault.
It's Vince McMahon. He pushes the panic button, and he trusts a very few limited people when he's in a bind, when the ratings are down or whatever the case may be. That's who he relies on. They're all old veterans. Or, in this case, he's got Brock Lesnar. He's adding him to Monday Night Raw in Boston.
Yep.
And he's doing that because the ratings are in the shitter.
Yep. On top of that.
Well, you know what? The ratings wouldn't be in the shitter if you had good, consistent writing and you built up your talent that is not 40, 50 plus years old.
And that's the issue at hand. I mean, I wrote not just this coming Monday in Boston. They also have a huge Legends Raw at the Go Home show for Hell in a Cell. Why? Because they don't have a choice. They don't have any choice because they're screwed right now. Their ratings are terrible. The worst rating since worst rating since 1997. That's bad.
It's terrible. The ratings are terrible. They're bad, and they should be bad, and they deserve to be bad. Anyway. All right. Miz TV with Charlotte and Becky Lynch. And I definitely want to talk about this one. So, The Miz calls what happened on Miz TV with the Divas last week drama and says this is the type of drama you can see tomorrow night on the season finale of Total Divas. Charlotte and Becky come out smiling and holding hands, not looking in the least bit upset about what Paige said last week. Becky snips at Miz, and Miz says meow, implying Becky is catty, and says a cat fight may break out with them and Paige. Hope you're catching the theme here. Team Bella interrupts and thanks them for their team acting like a bunch of high school girls while they are more united than ever. Nikki says she feels bad for Charlotte and called her a big old hot mess, having to deal with daytime drama while she will be the new Divas champion. Nikki reminded us that she broke the record for longest reigning Divas champion, and she started the Divas Revolution. Charlotte said this isn't about one of them starting the Divas Revolution. This is about the people in the audience and at home, who by the way, don't care and are tuning out. They're tuning out in droves. And the Divas themselves believing in each other, because apparently that's important when you are all chasing a championship, all don't like each other. It's all believing in each other. Alicia Fox says, she points out that 3 is greater than 2, referring to the numbers advantage, and Becky congratulated her on being able to count. Says, reading is next, and after a proper last kicking. God, that is so cringeworthy.
It is, but it's not Becky's fault. Remember that.
Paige interrupts, takes credit for everything. Nikki says to Charlotte and Becky, with friends like that, why do we even need enemies? Paige says, and if you have 2 boyfriends like yours, who really needs ambition? Which isn't even accurate, of course, because Brie is married to Daniel Bryan, which was shown on that wonderful Total Divas show they can't stop promoting during Divas segments. So a brawl breaks out between all of them, and Paige is once again on Charlotte and Becky's side, magically, as she helps them clear the ring of Team Bella.
Hold on. Well, I have a response to your without 2 boyfriends, that you have no ambition, all right? Listen up.
You have the right to remain.
Okay. Sorry. Had to.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
What are you talking about? That's by I forget who it was. By TV Guide. It's by the TV Guide rankings. That's the #1 quote from a sitcom of all time. Seriously, that's a true fact.
Yeah, I didn't know anyone read TV Guide. Yeah.
Not anymore. Not anymore. But so this all led to, and I hope I didn't ignore you, which I normally do. This all led to a 6-man tag. I love him. Holla player.
Oh.
What do you mean? See, here's the problem with this podcast. I do something. There's silence, and whether that's total ignorance, that's fair. But there's this awkward silence. What the fuck's he gonna say? And then most of the time you say, yeah. And that's it. You can't have this anymore. There has to be ongoing dialogue. Have you never been on TV before? Because I have. Silence is bad.
He's putting himself over. Oh, jeez.
No. Yeah. Yes, I am.
Yes.
Okay. So it did lead to the 6-man tag, right? And Paige was teaming with Charlotte and Becky like nothing happened. All divas in the ring. Charlotte accidentally knocked out Paige while she was going for the figure 8. Paige leaves the ring, only to be confronted by Natalya, who goes to the ring to help Charlotte and Becky for whatever reason, only to be attacked by Paige from behind for whatever reason, as Becky asks Paige what she is doing and what's the matter with her. This leads to Nikki hitting a rack attack on Charlotte and pinning her clean. Even Steven booking continues.
Paige is bad. She's bad. Why is she on the good team?
Yeah. Well, you know why? Because this fucking sucks. It's the absolute shits. I can't stand it. Okay? It's yet another step in the wrong direction for the so-called Divas Revolution. Mentions of cattiness, high school drama, the Total Divas TV show, and once again a mention of the Bellas' real-life relationships with Daniel Bryan and John Cena. Those repeated comments help no one. In fact, they discredit Nikki's record-breaking reign as Divas champion, if anything, which is what this whole fucking thing should be about, the Divas Championship. Well, I've got a message for Vince McMahon and his Bucky the Beaver sidekick. If you're not going to do it, and do it right, don't fucking bother. Just do us all a favor and scrap the whole goddamn thing right now. Rant over.
That wasn't that long of a rant, but I have to agree. I don't know what to do. I'm a huge fan of Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha. And oh my God, what's going to happen when Bayley comes up? Seriously, what's going to happen? Is Bayley really going to get in it? Not even Becky Lynch can, excuse me, not even Becky can have the ability, and she's the second best wrestler on that roster as far as women goes. She can't even get enough with the officials to get over. But Bayley coming up, or is like there's, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. The Divas Revolution, I agree with you, has been bad. Like, where's Sasha? She wasn't on the show. Team Bad and the other fucking team, it wasn't even there. What happened? Like, they were supposed to be there. They're supposed to be these 3 teams battling against each other. One team's broken up, sort of. Paige left. Team Bad wasn't even on the show. So what?
And the 4 horsewomen aren't on WWE 2K16. But don't worry, your highly entertaining Kane has 3 fucking characters on this goddamn video game. So you can play the 3 faces of Kane. Congratulations.
that is a salty. I mean, I am general salt when it comes to that video game and them not being on the roster. Eva Marie's in the game, but they're not. They had enough time to put them in. I call bullshit. Mikey Whipwreck is in the damn game. And they can't even put in, I don't know. I'm just making myself choke on my own spit at this point. It's ridiculous. The Divas.
Wow. It's either that or Beiber actually stopped by your house.
Oh no, I have a moat. Don't worry, he can't get through. He can't swim. But either way, it's a joke. It's atrocious. I mean, Paige was with the good team when she turned bad. I'm putting this in the simplest of terms. Oh, goddamn.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't figured it out by now, listeners, readers of TopRopePress.com, this is not a PG podcast. We say what's on our mind, and we make no bones about it. So if you are sensitive, this is not the podcast for you. Pro tip.
Good point. Cheap plug. If you're bad, you don't be with the good people. I'm talking like a fucking caveman. Bad is not good. Bad, stay with bad. Good, stay with good. I don't get where like Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon were like creating this vision for the show, because when they're saying, well, let's leave the best women wrestler, Sasha Banks, off the show. Let's leave Team Bad completely off the show. And let's have Nikki Bella say how great she is, and she's not. She's pathetic. And then Paige come out, say I have really good one-liner, a really good one, and then team with the good team. What sense does that make? That would have been like years ago, Randy Orton teaming with John Cena. And granted, that happened once, but that was all a ploy to have them win the tag belts, which is a fucking great story to be written. Anyway, not the point. Point is, and I'm not this scratchy all the time. I'm sick, everybody listening. You can't have Paige align with Charlotte Becky after she tore them a new asshole the week before. It makes no sense whatsoever. I don't get it. I just don't understand.
No one gets it. No one gets it. It's terrible. And hey, did you know that Bucky the Beaver wears lifts in his shoes?
Does he really?
Yeah, I heard this today, and
That's awesome.
And it was hilarious. Bucky the Beaver, aka Kevin Dunn, who is not a wrestler at all, wears heavily padded lifts in his actual shoes. That's great. It's the fucker's short, and apparently he's a little sensitive about it. So he wears lifts in his shoes.
I thought people were.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, no, I thought people wore lifts in their shoes in the 80s. Like lifts like in disco, 70s and 80s, right? You're turning 37 on Saturday. You were alive back then. Yeah,
I mean, they did wear lifts. Hey, actually, Chris Jericho and Kane wear lifts. There are still wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers. If you're especially short, or if you're especially tall, then there's a good chance you wear lifts in WWE.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah. Chris Jericho wears lifts. Kane wears lifts.
Wow.
Kane's about 6'8" in real life, and he's even taller when he wears his wrestling boots with lifts. So there you go.
All right, moving on from the shitty Divas segment. The Bellas won because Paige did. I don't fucking understand. Move on.
Okay. Well, if you were not tired of backstage segments, then I've got some good news for you.
Woo!
We have another backstage segment with Seth Rollins, Ashley from HR, and Kane. Seth's telling Ashley that Kane is out to get him, and there's something wrong with him. As Kane walks in, Kane has a big red box with a bow and talks about how Seth has been there for him the entire time, then presents him with a present, which he mentions.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
It's not my dick in a box. It is, in fact, the severed statue head of one Seth Rollins.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Yep. What was in the box? Severed head.
That's right. And Kane proceeded to show him. And obviously, Seth Rollins was a little disturbed, walked off, and asked how he had gotten that. And Kane, of course, had said he had spent all night digging in the landfill for it. So kudos to Kane for going to Baltimore and digging up in the landfill all night, apparently.
How is Kane not entertaining to you? You don't like this? He reminds me of a character from Office Space. It's funny. It's with his mug, world's greatest director of operations. It's funny. It's something good for a change. It's creative.
Well,
son of a bitch.
Well, I thought you were going to say it reminded you of TNA. I don't know about creative, but I'll say this: it started out as a copycat of TNA, and then we kind of discovered that it appears that the Kane understands that. He doesn't have a split personality. He's just playing mind games with Seth Rollins. Yeah. So it's not necessarily a direct ripoff of TNA, and so I get that. And I'll say for what Kane is doing, the role they have him in now, the way he's delivering that, he's doing it very well, and they realize that. And so I completely get that, and I agree with that. I just think the storyline is totally insulting and ridiculous.
Well, that's one man's opinion.
Indeed it is.
Moving on. We have like 5 minutes for Raw recap, so you better hurry this one up.
Well, this is a short one, so that's great news. Primetime Players versus Luke Harper and Braun Strowman of the Wyatt family. Harper and Strowman win after Braun once again incorrectly applies that fucking head and arm choke. Maybe this fucking guy could perhaps watch it being done properly and perhaps try it again after actually learning how to apply the move. Just a thought.
Well, yeah. You're right. Well, you know what's really good about Braun Strowman?
Nothing. He's a terrible worker.
Well, not all the time. Not all the time. And I'll tell you why. I think it's the aura that he gives off, the physicality, the demonstrative attitude. I think it'll really work out well. And another thing.
Yes, I'm waiting.
I caught a snake once. I skinned it. It drains blood. It's in a better place
He has a lot of fun with reptiles. That's the moral of the story. No.
And I'm in a better place every week Raw goes off the air. I mean, but I will say that line was great. It was
hilarious.
It was hilarious.
And the cheesy, stupid grin that he had. I thought it was funny. Any hooser.
I didn't see why they had to squash primetime players. I thought they had built them up with some momentum. They were just tag champs, and
they're boring as all hell. I'm sorry. Great guys, wonderful for the community. They're great people. Just they are boring. They're boring. I'd rather. I thought the Usos were getting on my nerves during the latter stages of their run. I thought they were just like the same old song and dance. I'd rather be seeing them now than the primetime players. Honestly,
I like them both. Okay. Neville versus Stardust. It's the feud that never ends. As Neville's about to hit the red arrow, King Barrett makes his glorious return.
Bullshit.
Comes into the ring, bullhammers Neville, causing Stardust to be disqualified. Barrett then bullhammers Stardust, grabs a microphone and says, "All hail the return of the king," and then leaves.
It's such bullshit. Why is he still King Barrett?
Why waste a return on something so ineffective?
Yeah,
nobody cared. Nobody cared about this. I mean, there was continuity. I'll give them that. There was continuity because he did attack Stardust, who attacked him before he left to film the movie. But nobody cares. They've ruined King Barrett.
They've honestly ruined the King of the Ring. I really have to say it.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. Okay. Well, we had Ashley from HR in the ring with Kane to give her performance evaluation as his director of operations. Kane, of course, is totally kissing Ashley's ass and wants to get to the bottom of this. Seth Rollins comes out interrupting, says Kane is not the man he presents himself to be. There's something he needs to show her. They have a video package of Kane.
No.
Well, maybe that's why she gave a favorable. Well, no. Maybe Kane showed his dick. Maybe that's why he got a favorable report.
or maybe red monster.
Literally. Or maybe she did see Seth's, and that's why she wasn't interested. That's why she didn't give him a favorable report. You never know. Yeah. Okay. I guess he didn't measure up. Seth goes on to say that the Pope told him he'll go to heaven after the video package where he shows Kane just destroying shit. And he'll be looking down on all the scum, which, of course, was pretty ironic considering all the controversy surrounding Seth Rollins in his personal life. Kane proceeded to tell Ashley that Seth was passionate and then showed a video package of Seth being completely angry and demanding Kane be removed as director of operations. Ashley reads her report. Her findings, of course, are that Kane is the perfect WWE employee, and if anyone needs to be evaluated, it's Seth Rollins. Rollins goes into a rage. He gets into it with Kane and proceeds to completely destroy him with a chair repeatedly, and then apparently looks like break his ankle with a chair stomp. A stretcher comes out. Rollins taunts Kane on the mic, tells him he's sure as hell no demon. The stretcher takes him out. He's put into an ambulance. Kane is called a fraud. And all of a sudden, as the ambulance starts to take off, it stops, the back door opens, smoke pours out, and out comes, dun dun dun, Demon Kane with a noticeable limp. Kane then slams his foot onto the ground as if he's setting the ankle back into place, and quickly walks as if nothing was ever wrong with him. As music hits, he steps in the ring, no-sells a chair shot from Seth, beats him around the ring, chokeslam him, and then attempts to give him a tombstone piledriver before the slithery, slimy Seth escapes, leaves the ring as Kane stands tall with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in hand. Your thoughts on that?
It was different, which made it okay. That's all I got. I've never seen anybody in history shake off a broken ankle by stomping on the ground. Like, oh, better. My ankle's not broken anymore. Like, I wish it worked that way for every injury that I've had in my life. I've had a few. So I wish I could just stomp on it. I'm all good. So
he went to the John Cena School of Selling, apparently.
Oh, huzzing. Okay.
Yeah. So, the thing to me is I think that's a terrible idea. It hurts the business when you no-sell something like that. I wasn't a fan of it. And it just goes back to my point that, it's all just completely insulting and ridiculous. It doesn't help the business in any way to no-sell something like that. It's just totally stupid.
Yeah.
So not a fan of that at all. And obviously it's going to lead to their match for the World Heavyweight Championship, which we all know Kane will not win.
Exactly. Moving on to the main event.
Bray Wyatt promo, totally babbling nonsense, basically saying he'll face Roman alone tonight. My thought was, well, he says if wins and losses don't matter, like in that interview, then why the hell do I care about this match?
Well, I mean, he did say in an interview that wins and losses are meaningless. So that's definitely one thing to look at. But every Wyatt promo is spectacular. I love listening to him talk. He just needs a main event push. He could be an easy champion right now. Easy. They wouldn't have to write his own, they wouldn't have to write scripts. He writes his own material. It's foolproof. I just don't get why they won't push him. Him and Ambrose. Do you imagine a main event program featuring Ambrose and Wyatt? That would put people in the seats for days. For days. And the best part is they could book it themselves. And the creative team wouldn't have to do shit because Ambrose and Wyatt could book a main event program with their eyes closed. You know that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I would put
Don't
them
hold your breath.
I won't because it's never going to happen. But all you have to do is say Dean, Bray, or whatever the hell their real names are. I forget off the top of my head. Look, guys, you two are the main event. Bray, we're going to put the title on you at Royal Rumble. You two have a feud to WrestleMania. You two are going to write it, sitting there. You have an hour, come back, and whatever they would have in that hour of brainstorming, the WWE officials would never even come up with that kind of shit because they could do the entire thing. Hypothetically, who would you have as heel or face? I'd make Dean the. That's a tough one. Who would you have as the heel?
Either one could work as a heel.
I know.
I mean, I think right now probably the most sense would be Dean Ambrose, but either one could do it.
Yeah. But like that right there, that could be a main event program. Easy. You wouldn't have to try. But, well.
Yep. Well, don't hold your breath, like I said.
I won't.
Okay. We had Randy Borton squash Bo Dallas. Moving on. Rusev.
Wait, every time you see, it's weird. Every time you bring up Randy Orton, you're just, and that's it. Moving on, and I find it kind of funny because you never have a lot of analysis for it.
Oh,
which maybe it's not deserved, but there is one guy, and we have 13 minutes left in this podcast. We have one guy who provides the best analysis of Randy Orton.
And now, a song. Randy has voices inside his head. Just watching him puts me to bed. It puts me to sleep. Randy walks down here on this ramp. His expression stays the same. Does his pose up in the corner. Can't think of anything more lame. All his tattoos are disgusting. All that oil on him is heinous. I guess you get to sit back and watch me beat this ignoramus.
There's Randy Orton in a nutshell.
Oh, boy. That's great. Right. It never gets old.
Never.
That's great news. Okay. Rusev versus Kevin Owens with Ryback and commentary. This match almost immediately ends, within a minute.
This could have been a great match. It could have been great. Oh, well.
Yeah, well, we're all thankful for, this match ending quickly anyway. Ryback was on commentary. It sucked. It was awkward as usual. And Rusev accidentally knocks into Ryback. Ryback attacks them both. Owens and Rusev double team on Ryback. Ziggler comes out to make the save. Super kicking Rusev silly as Owens leaves. Ugh, God, I wish this would just end.
Oh, well, it's not. I want a Kevin Owens-Rusev feud for the belt. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all I want.
Okay. Paul Heyman in ring promo. Heyman cuts a promo on the Big Show in his match with Brock Lesnar this Saturday. And the Big Show has been very irrelevant largely in the big picture outside of the last couple of weeks. And
Yes.
I'll say Paul Heyman did a good job here of making the Big Show seem more relevant than he's been in years.
Well, yeah, because that's what Paul's good at.
Yeah, he's fantastic on the microphone. He did a very good job. And the Big Show interrupts Heyman, says Brock Lesnar is afraid of him. And I'm thinking, well, he must have completely forgotten about being squashed like a grape at the Rumble in 2014.
And
Yeah.
why did he kept calling Paul Paulie? Like, what, is Paulie dangerously coming back? Is he going to have the briefcase with a cell phone and it's at ringside? I'm serious.
Well, you know, our cell phones keep getting fucking bigger and bigger. So eventually that cell phone he carried will be back.
You're right.
The Zach Morris cell phone.
Moving on to the main event.
Okay, Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. And with ratings in the shitter, and they heavily promoted this match throughout Raw, this would be a big test for Roman Reigns, who is the golden boy, and who I expect to win the championship at WrestleMania 32.
Yep.
Roman comes out alone. Bray comes out with the Wyatt family, but orders them to the back. I did wonder if there was another fan incident during this match. I don't know if you caught it, but there was a brief "let him go" chant from the crowd, and the camera panned in close on Roman and Bray, and the fans' attention was over towards the side. So there might have been another fan incident, but there was no
I did notice
information.
that, but nothing actually happened. So it was kind of hard to really tell.
Well, hopefully they punched him in the fucking face, or whoever it was.
I hope so too.
Yeah. Okay. Both were counted out. Cole mentioned neither of them care. Okay, that's fantastic. I don't care either, to be honest. JBL compared Roman Reigns to Goldberg, which was hilarious.
That was the first Goldberg reference on WWE programming of any kind in years. No one else picked that up. I couldn't believe that.
Maybe he's coming back. Maybe he's one of the names for WrestleMania 32. Who knows?
Oh, you don't know.
You never know. The fight continued outside. Reigns did a cool diving spear to Wyatt through a table that finally got the crowd into it and actually had them doing the yes chant to go off the air.
That was actually those two did a pretty good job. I was impressed.
The match just didn't do a whole lot for me. It was the after the match part that I liked.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, the two put on a show after the fact to end the night well. Even though ratings were complete crap, they did what they could with what they had. So I was happy. I
have to wonder how happy Vince is, though, seeing the people tuning out in droves to a Roman Reigns main event. Yeah,
well, it's called make the show 2 hours. Get rid of the third hour. You cheap son of a bitch. Deal with it.
Not happening. I agree. The wrestling show should be an hour and a half to 2 hours. Tops. 2 hours tops.
2 hours was good. It was because the people's attention span these days are slow. Mine included. They are. But you have to be able to adjust. That's what Vince was so good at in the late 90s. What is so different right now? Why can't he adjust? That's his problem.
Well, that and incontinence. You know, he's like 70, but okay. Yeah. All right. WWE live events.
Hold on. No, we're not done yet. We're not
you
done
want
yet.
to do
The Ric Flair moment of the week.
Okay, here we go.
You are a bitch. How can you do this to my daughter? Hey, Ric Flair, I love you. Paige, you are the man. You're hot. Yeah. Let's do a figure 12 on Paige. I'll do it to her face. I'll Facebook her. It'll be a figure 12. Paige! Virginia! Enough. Charlotte, I'm sorry. You're going to have a stepsister. Paige.
All right. My Ric Flair moment of the week. You love that, don't you? My Ric Flair moment of the week. Well, there's a difference between the Charlotte wheel and the Ric Flair wheel. Like Ric Flair's is like, woo! You have to have that H on the end. And Charlotte's is like, woo! So, okay. Besides that, the Ric Flair moment of the week for me was the Paige teaming with the good team as a bad guy. That just, it's so stupid. I just don't understand. That for me was the Ric Flair moment of the week.
Oh boy.
Do you have
All
one?
right.
Do you have a Ric Flair moment of the week? I have one.
I do.
What
it's
is
called Monday Night Raw.
Oh, well, okay. Play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
I don't play by the rules, John Fisher.
Thanks, Roddy Piper.
I color outside the lines.
Is that out of incompetence or is that on purpose?
Who knows?
All right, so this Saturday at MSG, wrestling's fucking biggest stars will be there, as you can tell by sarcasm. The match that I'm actually looking forward to is Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. I think that's going to tear the house down, and no one's going to even come close to it. And Jericho knows going into this, he has to be thinking like, I'm just going to fucking tear this place apart, and no one's going to touch me. And it's true, because Owens is a 5-star worker, and so is Chris. So they're going to be great. Lesnar's going to kick Big Show's ass. We know that. What else is on tap for this weekend?
We do have John Cena versus Seth Rollins for the U.S. Championship inside a steel cage.
Woo! Okay.
Randy Orton versus Money in the Bank contract winner Sheamus. Sheamus the anus.
Is this really happening again?
This fucking match, it is really happening again. Card subject to change, and I hope it does. Jeez. Yeah. Okay, so we have the New York's own Dudley Boys versus the New Day Tag Team Championship on the line. And we have, wait for it, Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev.
Love that. I don't care. If let them put on a show, I'm happy with it. I really am.
Well, all right. That's great. I'm happy for you.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we are no longer going to be live.
Yeah.
We decided that was far too dangerous for us.
Well, I mean, I'm totally going to be full disclosure. Unless the boss man, Ryan Drosty, wants us to be live, which he writes the paychecks. If everything is up in the air right now, we will still be, as of right now, every Wednesday night still, but we might be changing it to being off air to make it better produced for you. I think that's really the best way to put it. We figure we're going to be upfront and tell everybody instead of just having secrets and not telling anybody anything. So yeah, we're going to be upfront and open. We might not be live anymore. Everything's going to depend. Follow us on our social media platforms, and you'll get the latest. We will not lead you astray.
Nope. We are not the Pope. We will not keep secrets. We will not keep secrets. We will not hide. We will not hide behind the glass and drive through New York traffic.
Well, it's just like Seth Rollins. We're not going to go to hell. We're going to go to heaven. We're going to be on cloud 9.
That's right. And then we're going to send dick pics to women, and we're going to, date Nazis, whatever he does. I don't know.
Oh, geez, that's terrible.
Yeah. Well, it speaks for itself. Yeah, so full disclosure, yep, we want to make sure we provide you the best produced possible podcast. So we are going the taped route instead of live starting next week. And of course, we always want your questions and feedback. You can hit me up on the Twitter machine at @TheBradShepard.
Hit you up on the Twitter machine. Yeah, hit us up.
BradShepard. We'd love to hear your feedback. Anything negative about John Fisher, I'd love to hear about that. Anything great about me, I'd love to hear that. Yeah.
So really, no one's going to send anything at all. That's what I heard.
Probably not.
You can hit me up, John Fisher IQ, JONFISHER IQ. With anything, I like to talk about sports, wrestling, so I've been told, video games, anything you want, even girls. Yeah, that's it. So next week, we're gonna review Raw. You can hear my chair behind me. This thing is a squeaker. You will be able to hear our reviews on the show at MSG. A review of Monday Night Raw. If Vince McMahon is going to change his dastardly ways, and to see how they can fix themselves. We might even have to do a new segment called "How to Fix the WWE" every single week, because I have ideas. I have 3 right now. Split the brands, make it 2 hours, get another World Heavyweight Championship. Boom. That's it.
Hate it, love it, hate it. Okay.
Why? Hold on. No. Now, here's some debate before we get off. Our deadline is now, but we can go a minute over. Why? Wait, why no split brands? Why? Why not?
Why split brands?
There is enough talent. There is enough talent. And you said that yourself.
Yeah, I know, but what's the benefit of splitting the brand?
You have more than one credible show. All right, you follow me? You have more than one credible show. It builds momentum for Raw as well as SmackDown. It becomes a bigger company as far as a product goes, and you have more to sell. The best times in WWE's career, if you will, it's a bad choice of words, but in the best time of their career was the early to mid 2000s. Why? Brand split and talent. Boom. So many good storylines. Let's go back to 2004. Imagine that on one brand. One brand, okay? So you have 3-hour Raw, one brand. It would be terrible. Terrible. Because you couldn't give title chances to Edge, Benoit, Guerrero.
You were 11, by the way.
Yeah. How'd you know that? Yeah, I was 11. That doesn't matter. Does not matter one bit. A brand split would help the company and go into 2 hours. Bar none.
But you can accomplish everything you just mentioned by just doing the exact same thing without a brand split. Put the other talent that's not focused on Raw on SmackDown instead. It's not a brand split. You're just dividing the talent between 2 shows. You still have one championship. That's the way you do it.
See, I love competition between brands. I thought that was so much fun.
Well, now you've got NXT. Put NXT on SmackDown Thursday night. Get rid of SmackDown. It's useless. Put NXT on SmackDown. I don't know.
Well, there was a rumor that NXT was supposed to be an hour portion of Raw every week last year, and they nixed the idea.
Which is a good thing, because they would have totally fucked that up.
Oh, what if it was the NXT writers writing NXT?
But it's not. It would have been the Raw writers, just like the Divas Revolution is.
Oh, fuck that! Fuck that! No! Fuck that! Absolutely not! Absolutely not! Vince and Kevin Dunn will never touch NXT, and that's why it's so good.
Well, that's why you can't have them on Raw.
I agree. You're right. Anyway, Brad,
you'll get used to that, folks.
Yeah, shut up. Any closing remarks?
I'm right all the time, like he said. I don't really have anything else to say. See you next week. Oh, but by the way, I do have a John Cena prank for next week.
Oh, do you?
You'll have to remind me. Yes,
I'll remind you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Be competent and remind yourself. Visit TopRopePress.com for all of your latest wrestling news, and we will see you all next week. Everybody, goodbye. Take care and spike your hair. Be good.
Until next time, America.